Chapter 04 Fundamentals of Eastern Teaching about the Chakras. The human body is not just a physical body. This is an amazing synthesis of different plans of the universe. Only a dense body we can see by usual vision. However, it is surrounded and saturated by particles of fine, sparse shells. We do not see them when we are in the normal state. And only a transition into an altered state sometimes gives such opportunity. There are 7 plans, 6 simple and 1 complex. And all they can be presented within the human body. Usually only bodies of Mahatmas, great souls in Sanskrit, combine the maximum number of plans. In the body of ordinary human no more than 4 coexist, physical, astral, mental and buddhic. Each plan has levels, lower, middle, upper. Particles of the physical plan are grouped into the smallest conglomerates, chemical elements. The closer to the core of a chemical element, the lower is sublevel of the plan, the farther, the higher. As part of each sublevel there are particles as yin and yang. Any chemical element can be destroyed and cease to exist as a whole entity. Externally such destruction manifests as radioactivity. But usually the particles from the nucleus do not leave the chemical element. However, this occurs with peripheral constantly. They are released emitting as heat and light, passing from one element to another. This process takes place continuously and at this very moment too in all the bodies around you, and in yours too. Particles of upper sublevels of the physical plan easily circulate in the universe. Thus, each chemical element is that on the east is called chakra. The faster the chakra gives and receives particles, the more is the speed of such transmission of energy, the higher the level of its openness, the more it is opened, speaking the language of occultism. A chemical element, this is the simplest version of the chakras. There are many variations of them. In the human body there are many. The higher the plan is, the bigger and larger scale they become. Another name for them is energy centers. Astral plane particles are concentrated in the nucleus of every cell and around it a circumflex they surround DNA. Totally they form the astral body of the organism. The particles of the astral plan are in constant motion and in interchange with the outside world. They take in their community the particles from outside. And also, in their turn, they leave this conglomerate of particles going outside, somewhere else. We can assume that the core of each cell on the subtle levels represents an energy power center, a whirlwind of moving particles surrounding the nucleus. In other words, it is the same chakra, but of a different scale. The next step on the evolutionary ladder of development. A vessel of life that contains information about the cell and communicating with the outside world. Starting from the mental plan, the chakras are located as relatively nerve plexus and endocrine glands of the body are saturated, envelop it and nourish them. Each chakra, it can be said a place of attaching of the mental body of a certain level, one of the mental shell. Particles of this plan form cycles in the body in thin areas. Mental chakra like astral provide a communication of the mental body and the composition of this organism with the environment. In this they resemble the astral chakras, and not only the chakra of any other plan. Do not forget that each particle is a source of information, its carrier. A mental human body is a self-conscious entity that purposefully absorbs particles from the outside world of the same plan in general, and gives the same from itself into external environment. We say, in general, because the chakra absorbs the particles in other plans. The decisive factor here is features of information recorded on these particles. Just generally, on the earth there is still a specialty of plants a circumflex that is each of them is a bearer of a certain type of information. There is the mineral kingdom, the vegetable, animal, human and superhuman. Chakras communicate with the body through the nervous system, through the transmission of nerve impulses. It is a faster, but also a more fleeting way. There is still a humoral impact on the body's metabolism by synthesizing special chemicals, hormones, which carry information about this subtle body, this chakra. The closer such energy center is to the head, the higher is the level of the mental plane of its constituent particles. Do you remember that all plants are divided into levels? This is natural. So there was a process of evolution. Initially the lower joined, then the upper. It's always in the universe. Exactly the same separate independent entity is the body of the Buddhic plan. What we call our soul, our I. It saturates, envelops and nourishes the upper parts of the brain corresponding to the cortex. The chakra of the Buddhi shell is situated about the place where there is the pineal gland. Thanks to epiphysis, the human soul can affect the body by the humoral way, with the help of hormones. This method is the most durable and stable compared with the sending of nerve impulses. As it is amazing. Nothing is constant. Our physical body is all the time updating its consist. Food enters through the mouth, is digested, and then molecules are destroyed in the course of respiration and are output through the lungs in the form of carbon dioxide and water. And other shells that are the part of our body, thin, also represent channels absorbing and emitting particles. Although everything is not so easy. Chakras can be open or closed. The open even as represent the channels, they exchange the particles with the environment. But closed chakras stew in their own juice. They have little communication with the outside world and they have a constant composition of the particles. However, there are not absolutely closed centers. Any of us represents an energy pipe, even if it has a very low rate of flow. As already mentioned, thin bodies absorb and emit the particles selectively. A circumflex that is able to control the quality and quantity of energy passing through them. Now, we hope you at least have a little idea how multifaceted, complex creature is a man. So many kinds of shells, ethereal, astral, mental, Buddhic are combined in us. And superhumans also have ethmic and monadic. How many different types of energy any individual can radiate a circumflex different and qualitatively and quantitatively. Let you not confuse by the word energy. An individual radiates desires, emotions, thoughts, ideas and images. Each plan has its own specifics of emitted and absorbed energy. There are thought flows of different quality and information content. And you can feel them, as they pass through you. Thoughts pass through the head, for the higher levels of the mental, or ideas, for saturating of the soul. Primitive feelings and emotions, for the lower levels of the mental and higher astral plan, go through the nerve centers and plexus below the head. So there is a saturation of thin shells. Chakras are the sense organs. With their help we get information from the outside world, from the subtle plans. The known for us sense organs tell us information about the physical plan, vision, hearing, taste, smell and touch. As chakras carry information from the astral, mental and Buddhic plans. The universe, our God wants the particles everywhere interacted with each other, freely penetrated into every corner of the space. In order to there were no obstacles to the free flow of energy. In order to there were no congestion and blocks. This is love in action. All is combined, all is one, and there are no separate locations. The main purpose of the Creator for this Mahamanvantara, to make so that energy, spirit, from the sixth of the bottom into the second of the top, of the monadic, higher plan, reaches without distortion to the lowest, physical. And moreover it should happen everywhere in the universe. Currently this is not yet observed. Plans are still very segmental. It is necessary that the energy circumflex information of the higher plan will become the guiding principle for absolutely all plans. Then there will be peace in the universe, harmony, beauty, love. It is necessary that the God, the silent witness, as it is called, felt that information of the highest plan is dissolved in the lowest, and not distorted by any impurities. It is need that the highest plan, the spirit, has teamed up with the lower, with the matter. The highest plan does not carry the seeds of evil circumflex. It is deprived of all that murderous and heinous that we can see here, in the realm of dense matter. This means that this plan's the most clean and bright. Energy emitted by its particles bears only love and light. We hope now do you start catching intention of the Creator. Ida is to combine all the plans and to make everything as a single organism. Everywhere there is only light, love and beauty.